How many of you know that there's a tax exemption available for research equipment? How many of you remember to submit your equipment as tax exempt in Purchase Path? Tax exempt research equipment. To qualify for the sales and use tax exemption, equipment must have a useful life of more than 1 year. Equipment must be directly used for more than 50% of its useful life on qualifying research, not just 50% of the life of the budget. Qualifying equipment must have an acquisition cost of $1,000 or more. In general, the useful life for lab equipment is listed as about 5 years. Computer and IT equipment is 4 years. Scientific refrigeration equipment is 13 years. Desktop computers, which are not solely dedicated to data analysis and/or the operation of a specific piece of research equipment, do not qualify because they are used for too wide of a variety of tasks, that making it too difficult to prove that its direct use is more than 50% of its useful life. Additionally, many of our desktop computers cost less than $1,000 these days. Portable computing devices, including laptops, tablets, projectors, etc., never qualify, as their portability implies that they could change location and purpose. If the equipment qualifies for the research equipment tax exemption, you will need to include a qualifying research description statement on your purchase request. 2 to 3 sentences in layman's terms that describes the type of research it will be used for, including aims and goals of the research.
So do I do a copy of an abstract of my grant?
It would need to be very brief, especially as we move forward in utilizing e-procurement eventually. There is a limitation of space on how many characters it will allow. So in many cases, they're actually trying to get us used to doing only one sentence that describes the research and includes the aims and goals. So you do not need to begin with used 50% or more for research, nor do you need to describe how the instrument will be used in the research project. Simply describe the research itself and the translational goals for that research project. Purchase Path will also require that you enter notes to your line item when you select one of the tax-exempt product categories. Once you have a research statement that is approved by Equipment Inventory, you most likely will be able to use it repeatedly for any equipment purchased from the same grant. If your research focus changes dramatically and you have new grants for this new focus, then we will need to revise your research description statement accordingly. Here on this screen, you'll see some of the basic tax-exempt categories that you can choose from in Purchase Path. Please be aware, if an exemption is taken on an item that is later deemed by the Washington State Department of Revenue to not qualify, the department will ultimately be required to pay the tax along with penalties and fines. So be sure it really does qualify and will be used 50% of its useful life for research. Here's some examples of good and complete research description statements. For use in research to develop cellular therapies to combat cardiovascular disease. Or this item will be used for research on muscular dystrophy vaccines. This item will be used in radiation therapy development in curing pancreatic cancer, etc.